Hello everyone, this is Don back with my next progress report on the Corsair. Where I left off last week, I was doing a hand sand out on the Cowling. So I did spend pretty much all day yesterday finishing sanding out the Cowling by hand. And I went through and drilled out these rivets for here, because sanding on them, it grinds the rivets away. There's 3 on each one of these, 4 and 5 on there. And then I took out the hinges. I got them labeled, so that's the left side and that's the nose end, which is this end of the Cowling, and then the right side. Had to clean off some epoxy on them, but they're ready to go back in. I had to drill all the rivets out. Those are nice because the back side of the rivet was on the back side of here, so they come out. Whereas these, they're still stuck inside the foam and the Cowling, so what I need to do is come in from the back side, drill a hole so I can punch the base of these back out, and then I can recrimp them and then just throw some putty or something in the holes to cover it, some fill. So after sanding everything down, there still was a couple blems here and there, and I had to glue this piece in. So you can see I got that all glued in now. That piece that was originally cut out. And I used cotton flocks in the corners, taped it on the inside, filled the seam here. I had to kind of sand it down some to thin it up, so because this really needs to be flush. There shouldn't be any seam across here. So after sanding it out today, there was still some pinholes in there. There's the hole I had to drill for the screw that's going to bolt to that piece of aluminum for the extension. So that'll get popped out of there, but I had to fill this in and grind her all smooth, so that's wet. I just finished doing that and then putting some in the sides here to fill, and then I went around some spots and touched up some little spots here and there. So this is ready to sand out tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be cured again with this slower epoxy resin. And then I went inside and kind of sanded on the inside some spots where some stuff had run inside, and cotton flocks, and so it's all sanded out, ready to go. And then I just got a couple spots here that I just got to hit real quick. I got some new sandpaper for my DA sander, this palm sander. I went and bought some 80 grit and 150 grit, and that 80 grit, surprisingly, it leaves such a very nice finish too, so it don't really need to be followed up. So once this is all sanded out, go over it, looks good, it's ready for primer. So now there we go, focus in here. This has got that LED lights there are kind of yellow, and these are more of a bright white. So I got this all sanded down, knocked off the excess fiberglass that was still around there that wasn't wetted out, and I trimmed that all off with a razor blade first. And then today we had to go to Harbor Freight to get that paper, and I sanded this all out, and I started with the bottom side and sanded it all out. Again, this camera is not a wide angle, so, but it's all puttied up way beyond, and that's a real thick, like 4-to-1 mix of microballoons to epoxy. I got a sliver in my flip-flop here, stabbing me in my foot. So that's ready. That's still, I did this before I did those, so but they both should be cured up by tomorrow. I did, like I said, I did glue this one in yesterday with this medium speed, and then I had plastic on there and some sticks and weights to hold it down in place, and tape on the inside. And when I come out today and pulled that all off, it still felt soft, like it hadn't fully cured. So I just took that one and set it out in the sun against the front of the garage, and again, another absolutely gorgeous day today. We've had just a complete run of blue skies for, oh my God, 2-3 weeks or more. So, but set it outside, run up to Harbor Freight to get the sandpaper to work on that, because I couldn't work on this. And by the time I came back, just a little over an hour later, that had completely cured up nice and strong just from sitting in the sun for an hour. So I was able to cut that, sand that all down, get that prepped, and then I mixed up that heavy slurry and filled that thing up with slurry. So I had that finished, and then I went on to this. So So now all that's left is tomorrow, hopefully these will be cured up. I can get her all sanded out and then mix up some primer and shoot them. I may have to run to the parts paint store and get me some tack rags. I'll wipe this all down with some reducer, clean it up good, and I'll shoot it. I can shoot it pretty much like this, so I may take and lay it down with the inside up and then shoot the inside first, and then I can stand it up on end like this and then shoot the outside and get the whole thing covered, because I want to spray everything at one time, get those all sprayed, and then also spray that all in. Let's see, so that's pretty much all I've been at. It's just amazing how much time it takes for sanding this stuff out, especially when you do it by hand. Now if I would have had paper for that, I would have tried that and it would have been a lot quicker, because I had to go back over these a few spots and seen some that could use more sanding, and that did a superb job as well. Even with the 80 grit, but it's a pretty well used piece of 80 grit now. After mixing up this slurry, I still had I only mix up, I use this syringe, this epoxy is 2-to-1, so I put a little ruler down in here and measure up to 2 inches and then 1 inch. So you fill the epoxy to here and the hardener to there, and you can mix it up into a throwaway cup, little Solo Dixie cups or whatever. I got the plastic cups, these guys here. So you can mix up very small batches that way, and it's really accurate measurement. So, but once you put in the 4 parts of microbloons, it makes a lot. So I only needed very little for that, very little for the touch-ups on both of these halves of Cowlings. That was good to go. I didn't need any more, so I had a bunch left. So I just took, and I was using a little gift card, credit card. These are a little softer than a credit card, but this is Country Fair Citgo gas, and I used that, and I just took that epoxy slurry mix, and I just, I got that sliver in my foot, put it in the Cowling, just spread it all in there, and I just kept squeegeing it until I was able to use it all up. So it was filling in all the little pores from the fabric on the inside, but I was able to use it up. I hate to waste the stuff, so I just go inside, because this has got quite a bit of texture to it, and I just sit there and keep squeegeing it, and it eventually fills in all the pores. So when I shoot that with the primer, it should look pretty good. It should look pretty smooth. Not that you'll see it from the while it's on the plane. So and the only thing left to do after this is all done is the extension, that aluminum extension, has got to bolt onto those. So the bolts will go from the inside up, and then there'll be a nut on the back sides of those things. So I can just get up under here and put a nut in there with the correct length bolt to bolt that aluminum piece onto here. And then the other ones will have a hole in it, same location, just 1.5 inches. Then it may require me to drill a hole through here in order to put a screwdriver in there to get to the actual screws to remove this. So we'll see, because I don't think you're going to get, well, I might be able to get the screw down in there, but you have no way to really tighten it. It screws into the receivers here. They'll screw onto here. So if you had to come in like this with the screwdriver, you may not be able to get screws. So I may have to just make a hole big enough, put a screwdriver in there to screw. You can put the screw in there from behind, because those are sticking out, 1.5 inches, or yeah, 1.5 inches I think it was. So you can get the screw in there, but you may not be able to put the screwdriver on it. So I may have to punch holes in the flaps so I can get in there. It's just big enough to get a 1/4 inch, Phillips screwdriver in there is all it needs to be. So again, haven't touched any of this, haven't started it. So it's probably coming up on a good 3 weeks since I've ran it. Not much more of a drip there, still about the same size drip it was before. It's not physically dripping. Just after running it probably drips. So propeller, I still need to round off the blades, like the old one was. And I think that's about all I really got to report. This will have to be fitted to the bottom cowling. That's the other half of this. Now these here, these can be actually kind of cut off right here because I don't need this. And same way here, so I can lop this off, don't need it. And then again, the bottom, I will put the screen in that bottom hole. Some kind of heavier mesh type screen, stainless, glue it, popper it, or whatever, or both. So I think that's going to do her for this video. Not much more to report. I'll get this all sanded out tomorrow, and if it looks good, I'll shoot it. I mean, we're still going to have some nice weather the next foreseeable days. So what I really need to do is clean this garage. It is an absolute mess with all the dust from sanding. I need to get the airplane out and washed. Hopefully before winter, get it at least cleaned off, and hopefully I'll be able to get it out and run it around out here and see how my tail wheel feels. Like I can run it if it's like on a weekend, especially on a Sunday. I can run it down the street because nobody goes down the street. It's a dead end. There's a machine shop down at the end of the street, and I can take it in the park like I did before. So I can hang my little camera on it, or I can use this camera or my other camera on a tripod and just point it in a direction and see how it taxis with the steerable tail wheel now. I still have the option of hitting the brake and kicking it around. It'll just kind of drag the tail wheel, and it'll just cause the tail wheel, if it's on asphalt or cement, to wear faster is all. But you can get replacement tires for it. Okay, I think that's about it. A couple times I see people still asking every now and then about my vertigo. And most of the days I don't even feel it or notice it. I mostly notice it when I'm up early in the morning and I take the dog out for his walk and my head's not quite steady yet. It's still traces of it there, but it's at its least bothersome point right now. It's getting much better. My vision's getting better, so when I'm twitching my head left and right, my eyes are tracking better now. The problem was when I turn my head to the right, everything shifts left when I'm watching, and the eyes will snap back. So that's better. I can go faster and faster now, and the eyes are tracking better. But that was probably the biggest thing that was causing troubles for me. So, but hopefully by the time I get this out again, it's not going to go down to the airport until spring, so it's not going to fly this year. It'd be hard pressed to put it all together because I still need to test that engine out with that carburetor on it and get the ignition timing happy, where it's happy with the ignition timing. So I got to play with that and have to tie it to the tree and do full throttle run up and get the pitch set on the prop. So I see Joe's been put up another video, so he's giving a little more explanation. And he'd said, somebody asked in the comments about the weight of his plane, and he said it was like 944 pounds. I hope that was with the fuel tanks, the external tanks, because if it's just 944 without those tanks are like 25 pounds a piece, hold 5 gallons of gas, so you're looking at 55 pounds per, 110 pounds for both. That's going to be a heavy airplane, very heavy. You start getting up to 1,000 pounds empty weight, just throwing those things on there, 50 pounds, he's pushing 1,000 pounds empty, unless if it's not included in there. And he mentioned he only has about an hour of fuel in the header tank, so I don't know how many gallons it holds or how many gallons that Rotec radio uses, but I'd be looking for chopping some weight out of that thing, because it's going to be on the fat side. That's not good, especially for only 110 horse. I've got 140 horse to play with here. So, all right. I think that's about the extent of questions that I wanted to just kind of hit on. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and end her now. And as always, I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch these videos. Feel free to leave any comments, questions, concerns. I appreciate the ones that people are leaving. And as always, don't be afraid to leave comments. They're actually preferred, leave a comment. Anybody that's a bad apple, like Joe found out, is going to have to be deleted from the channel. So the guy was making up some stupid numbers about the weight of my plane and everything, saying it was 1,500 pounds. I was like, my God, the plane with me in it at 220 pounds still doesn't hit 1,200 pounds full of fuel. So I don't know where he pulled those numbers out of. He must have pulled them out of his arse. All right, everybody, that's going to do her. I'm going to get this thing in there and loaded. The wife's got dinner just about finished, so I got to get in there and eat. And I'll get back on her tomorrow, and hopefully by Tuesday night I'll have this stuff all in primer, and we'll be on our way to painting. I just got to order some white paint. I've got the dark blue and the light blue, and hopefully have this stuff all painted up. Maybe, well, probably not till next weekend for the actual painting. So, okay, everybody, that's going to do her. I will probably see you again on Tuesday night. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you then. This is Dino Don out.